There's a constituency in Western Kenya. Mm-hmm. It's called Saboti.
Yes.
That Saboti has a member of parliament. That member of parliament, his name is Caleb Amisi, and he's here.
Yes.
Good morning, Mheshimiwa.
Good morning. What happened to the screen now?
Oh, don't worry. Somebody is going to...
Technician is working on it.
Somebody's going to put it back on in a minute.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Karibu sana.
Yeah.
We didn't get an opportunity to say pole sana. We know that
yes.
you particularly mourned and still mourn heavily on the exit of Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And we know that on the day of, we asked you to do a hard thing by coming to say a word or two, but you weren't able to do that.
Yeah, I think I was also overwhelmed because of the, the manner in which the death occurred also surprised some of us. Mm-hmm. So we were still getting to terms with the loss of the enigma.
Yes.
But here we are. We've mourned enough. And it's time to move on without Raila.
Indeed. We're going to get into that conversation. We're going to look at a political, of course, a lot of this, but then what the demand is, whether there's a renaissance eventually that needs to happen, because we've talked about this quite some. Before we do that, Dennis wants to welcome you with today's proverb.
Yes, today's proverb comes from Sierra Leone, a country whose former slaves from the UK were domiciled in that country. But you look at the country and the resource that it has. So we talk about diamond, you talk about gold, you talk about titanium, there is cocoa, there is fishing, and all these come together to push the country forward. Their currency sounds so good, the leon. Really, really amazing. But let's go to the proverb. If you close your eyes to facts, you will learn through accidents. How would you interpret that?
If you close your mind to facts,
yes, you will
and
learn.
They say facts are stubborn. You learn through accident. In fact, it's just akin to the Swahili one that asiyefunzwa na mamake
funzwa na ulimwengu.
Anafunzwa na ulimwengu. So of course the facts here are mamake, and ulimwengu is now when you are avoiding the facts, then of course you'll stumble through an accident, definitely, because you'll not be guided by any measure, and therefore you are bound to get an accident along the way. So I think it's just as clear as it is. In my own interpretation. It is just as simple, as clear as it is. But the Sierra Leone case is also a very sad thing, because you look at the history of the blacks and the former slaves. In fact, this Pan-Africanism started not in Africa. Yeah. It started out of Africa when the blacks in America, started championing for their rights. And of course, we have the Marcus Garvey, who started the movement of bringing back the blacks now through to the Liberia. In fact, Liberia is a country that was made out of blacks who are coming from the US. And of course, there was now the overflow to Sierra Leone, because it's the neighboring country. But predominantly, it was Liberian. But Liberia is just a country made up of black Americans, or those, of course, the former slaves. So it is the history, the sad history of Africa. I think I don't know. Maybe that's why there are so many proverbs coming from Africa. You'll just see a proverb from Ghana, from Sierra Leone, from I've not heard so far proverbs from there is this Kazakhstan.
Maybe we will colonize them.
Now they can come and give. I have so many proverbs. But that's the sad story of Africa. And how it has navigated a strained history of colonialism, slavery, the transatlantic slavery.
Slave trade.
When you go to Ghana, there is a place, those who have gone Gold Coast.
Yes.
There is a place that is called a point of no return.
No return. Yeah.
Where the blacks were, when you pass there, the next is the Mediterranean Sea. And you're supposed to cross to Europe. And those who manage to cross to Europe are termed as very strong genes, and of course the rest died in the sea. So in fact the thing is that we have been told that the most of these footballers, the athletes who are doing well in the European Championship and American, that are blacks, and they have, of course, said these were the strong genes of Africa because they managed to cross the Mediterranean Sea.
Indeed. Well, that's, interesting insights, of course, and it lends to our conversation this morning. And just to start off with a question, that you mirrored a speech that was given by Julius Malema during the funeral service in South Africa. Actually, it was just outside of Soweto at the funeral of Winnie Mandela, where he talked about people who came to her funeral service crying with the loudest tears, but were not interested. And this is what you said. Baba, these people are here. They are mourning more than us, Baba. Baba, they have called you names and stolen your win 3 times. Baba, they're giving you a state burial with smiles on their faces. Baba, give us a signal. They're saying that the Kitendawili man left them to rule Kenya forever. Baba, give us a signal. They say you left them in broad base, Baba. Baba, they refuse to listen to your last speech of who told you and wrote your own Mganga speech. Baba, give us a signal. Baba, they visit Ida and your children at daytime and plan against them at night, Baba. Please give us a signal. They have stolen every coin and borrowed more on behalf of next generation using your experts. Baba, give us a signal. They are weighing money on a scale of 9 out of 10 in Kapsaret while Kenyans die of hunger. Give us a signal. They are even singing Joey, Joey, Joey louder than Raila Jr. Baba. Give us a signal. They are still here and want to buy ODM. Kwabeya Gioni, Baba. They are celebrating your death, that they will now have no opponent. Give us a signal. Their mouths are caterpillars, their pockets heavy to buy anyone, their heart bloody, and their head agendaless. They are all here, Baba. We are here, Baba, your sons. Give us a signal. We shall donate whatever it takes with all our strength to wrestle them. This is what you said. You said it. You wrote it down 5 days ago.
Yeah,
actually,
yes. Those are my thoughts, and of course, Julius Malema referred to his speech at the burial of the former First Lady Winnie, because Winnie Mandela is one of those ladies who stood strong against the apartheid regime when Nelson Mandela was arrested. And Winnie was there. She went through all the atrocities committed by the white supremacists. And of course, when Winnie died, the people who came there yelling and wailing louder than even the people she was winning the struggle were the very, very collaborators of the white regime. So it is the same case here that we buried an enigma whose name has emanated by virtue of the struggles he has undertaken, the new constitution, the struggle for human rights and constitutional order, the struggle for devolution, and of course the struggle for good governance. But the people who are giving him the state burial are the opposite, basically the people who had spent their time and the resources fighting him so that he does not become a president. And there they were. They are the people who led the sermons, are the people who led the speeches. They could not even let some of us even have a word. And of course, they took over the program and they were theirs. You could see tears falling. But the next minute, the same people are saying that now we are happy that the person who was supposed to be our our main opponent is gone. Now the rest who have remained cannot defeat us. Now, those are heavy words that tells you that these are people who are celebrating your death. There is nothing mourning there. They are saying now my opponent is gone. Even you cannot wish death even to the worst of your enemies. Death is the last thing you can wish even to your enemy. So we have seen people are pretending, and that's why I said Baba left behind people who are basically pretenders. They were not part and parcel of his journey. They did not believe in him. They took advantage of his support base. And you can see their behaviors. You can see some who are saying that we were left in broad-based, not even knowing how did the broad-based come about. Broad-based came about because Baba sacrificed for the sake of the nation. You did not just say, let's form a broad base. It's not like the coalition government that was formed during Kibaki's government. No, this was a compromise where Baba, in his own wisdom, thought that, yes, I will wish this regime to go. But what will happen to the country if the regime goes in this manner, in this chaotic environment? We are collapsing our nation. But these people do not even know how the broad base came about. They came about out of sacrifice over enigma. And of course, when he said this is where we are, it means you must also stand on his values that made sure that broad base is in place. And what are the values? That you cannot compromise some aspects of bad governance. And you cannot just say we are in broad based up to 2027. That means that whatever atrocities the broad base is committing, you are going to be part and parcel of it.
But your party and some of the chair of your party is saying this. There are members of ODM that are saying we are going to remain here. You, one of Baba's sons, very clear in how he then was able to lead you through this political journey. But the party is also, in some respect, very clear about the direction that they're going to take come 2027. We're in broad-based. We are here to stay. We're not going anywhere. Is that the position?
And that's exactly what Baba was talking against. You could remember the last speech that Raila made. And the people must also know that ODM is strong because of the virtues and the ideologies that Baba has been able to prophesy all these years. That's why it has been stable, that man. Most of people have joined ODM across the country, not really predominantly from Nyanza. They have joined it because of the ideologies that the party stood for. And the moment you run out of it, out of what formed ODM, then there'll be no ODM. They just need to understand that you are happy now, you are celebrating. What are you celebrating? What are you telling people you are what is ODM without members? What is ODM without Caleb? It is nothing. It is a shell. So you'll be celebrating a shell. ODM is strong with members of members of the party. And why are members of the party in ODM? Because of what the ODM stood for. If we are going to see abductions, if people are going to celebrate two Kenyans who are abducted and taken across the borders into Uganda, and they come back and you still celebrate and say we are in broad base, we can't talk against this. Is this the reason why ODM was formed? No. So and if Baba was here, can you just sit down and imagine if Baba was here, will he celebrate the atrocities of the government in the pretext that we are in broad base? No, he will not. He will speak it out. So who is this man in ODM who will speak it out the way Baba used to speak? I mean, there are times when during even the broad base arrangement, when Baba has publicly condemned the abduction of young people, even while championing for broad-based government. Who is this in ODM who will still speak against government excesses?
Who is it?
Who is this?
Yeah. Who is it?
That's why you're asking.
There's no one?
So, yeah.
If there is no one, then there's no ODM.
So that means...
Because that is what forms the party. That's being able to speak against the excesses of the government. And that's what has attracted thousands and thousands. You are saying now you are the biggest party in the north of Limpopo and the south of Sahara. Why? Why is Kanu not the biggest party in North, or not even in South or West?
I mean, let's look at ODM as is, and what Raila Odinga stood for. Broad-based, he called out the government. Raila Odinga is not here. Are you insinuating that ODM, as we stand right now, has lost what it stood for? Is ODM the same ODM that Raila Odinga used to call out the government, used to ensure that democracy is a fact, that human rights are respected? Has ODM lost it?
Yes, the moment the chairperson, Gladys Wanga, during the burial of our enigma, went out loudly, as if we have not lost even Baba. It looked like it is a campaign rally. It never looked like it is a mourning of an enigma. A chairperson of a party, a party that was led by an enigma, on the burial of the enigma, is addressing and confirming that we will be in the government, come what may. On the burial of the person who have stood against repression, on the burial of a person who has stood against Moi's regime, on the burial of a person who was jailed for 7 years for standing up against the excesses of the government. That is the day you chose to say that we are in the government to stay. The government that people have fought against, the government, the very person you are burying, has been imprisoned, lost part of his life, lost, dignity, fighting against the excesses of the bad governance. But you are there on his burial as the chairperson of the party, professing on how you'll stick to the government, whatever comes may. It does not operate like that. This is the day you should have said that even if you are in broad-based, that should you go against the wishes, aspirations, and the ideologies of our party leader whom we are burying today, we will speak it out for the sake of Raila. That is the speeches we expected. But not to say like it was a UDA rally.
Well,
that's what makes us wonder, is this party still existing according to the ideologies under which it was formed?
so what you're saying is that if this is the ideology upon which it was based, to then be able to speak against the excesses of government, to then be able to be the voice that really resonates for the people, if that in its current constitution is not happening, then this party, for all intents and purposes, fails to exist.
It fails to exist. That's why I said, when even Baba was in broad base, it will come up even when the president is there. Until the president stop, this is not right. He will call the president and say, this is not right. He will still keep the government in check, even while in broad base. That is the man we buried. And that's what we thought. The people who think that they were, they say Baba has molded us. If you thought Baba has molded us, do you now understand how he molded you, or you molded yourself and lying to us Baba has molded you? Maybe you are molding yourself in a very different direction, because if Baba indeed molded you to become a leader, then you must do as he did. You must run the party as he did. And I want to really give it to Oburu Odinga, because people never expected that he will actually show some level of leadership. I saw him call Babu, I saw him call Sifuna. I have seen him calling people of dissent voices and say, no, we will not just be in broad base. We will make a decision later. He's actually offering. You can see the speeches of Oburu Odinga. You can see the speeches of Ruth Odinga. These are siblings to the enigma. These are people who grew together. They have seen Raila when Raila was one day old in this world. Now, can you compare those speeches with that of Wanga, who just saw Raila after campus? Can you compare those speeches with that of Kaluma, who just saw Raila when he has been elected as a member of parliament? Those are totally different people. They don't believe in the ideals of Raila.
Okay.
They believed in them being elected using the name Raila Odinga. But the people who have suffered with Baba, you'll see the way they are speaking. Look at the way Oburu is speaking. Look at the way Ruth Odinga is speaking. In fact, Ruth is even daring to vie for president. These are people who knew what Baba stood for and why Caleb Amisi is following Baba.
What will it take for other leaders within the ODM who we have two groups. We are in broad-based, come what may. Then we have the other side that says, no, there is what Raila Odinga stood for. But how then do we sit and ensure that ODM is a united entity as was before Raila Odinga? Pastor?
There is nothing you cannot ensure. You see, it's like sitting down and say, how can you ensure this country is run well? The way our forefathers left it. You simply change the country. Okay, you can't say, can we talk? You simply change the leadership. So the leadership of ODM must change for the party to go back to its, original roots. But as it is now, except for Ruth Odinga and Oburu, the rest are just in their own world.
Okay.
They do not know why ODM exists. They do not even know how to run a party. They don't know how to even make sure that the dissented voices of Caleb are even brought to the table and ask them. You will just hear them say, why is he talking against the party position? He's a mole. Is this our Munyoro? Those are not things that will come from Raila Odinga. Raila will balance the dissented voices, will listen to them, and eventually that's how he built the party. But with the leadership, the current leadership, who gives statement every morning, who thinks that if you are opposing anything, then you are a mole, or you are a Munyoro, or you are a what? This is not how to build a party.
Okay, and then from the chatter on the ground, it is that the current administration, led by the president, for all intents and purposes, seeks to or has already neutered ODM. That could go in line with some of the very things that you're saying. If your chair speaks this way, if prominent members of the party speak in this way, that it is already clear that ODM then is not just, in bed with UDA. It's had children and grandchildren at this point. So if that's the case, would people such as yourself then seek re-election on an ODM ticket into the future? Every time we've asked questions about whether there will be an ODM presidential candidate, whether Caleb Amisi will run again on an ODM ticket, we're told time will tell. Let's wait and see what will happen.
Yes,
20 months.
Yes, you see now what amazes some of us is that how dare these people even behave this way to people whom we've been in the streets, in the trenches, fighting against. You remember some of us, we've had the worst of our moments where tear gas were thrown right inside our cars and it burst inside. Were it not for some media personalities who saved me, I'll be no more. I would have been one of the first casualties of 12th Parliament. I had just been barely sworn in, barely 2 weeks been sworn in. And there I was, having the worst in the streets. We were fighting who? We are fighting Ruto on the other side, Uhuru on the other side, IBC, Chebukati, and most people lost life. You remember during the Baba, while you are away, when Baba arrived, I was there. I am the person who witnessed how people were being, shot, live bullets, and we lost so many youths. For somebody who has come to your house and has stolen everything, and you are there saying this is a thief, and of course Gen Z have come and found that thief, they put him in a corner. Then you say, okay, for the sake of peace, let's see how we will sort out these things. Then your kids, they are shouting, no, that's now our new dad. That's the guy we'll be with him until, really? This is how they're behaving. And the dad, even the dad had asked them, like, let's have this thief in a corner, and they tried to negotiate aturudishe ile kidogo. Maybe that's why the dad was asking for a broad base. But the kids are crying, no, that should be our dad. You see the way he has carried a lot of things, and these are things that he has stolen from you. We've been on the street asking that this election has been stolen 3 times. The guy you have accusing of having stolen your election is there. You are the one now praising. He's the one now coming to say how you will chase all the kids who are disobeying him out of the house. And you cannot even say a word. We expected the ODM leadership to come out and ask Ruto, who are you going to chase out of ODM and as who? They're quiet. They're quiet. Somebody's coming to chase people out of ODM, your house. You are not saying anything.
The president has equally made statements that I will ensure that ODM does not die. I will attend ODM anniversary celebrations. We'll make sure that the party remains strong. But if you just pause and look at that statement in its own self, he is an opponent of ODM, whether you like it or not. And when you see or hear such statements and then combine that with what the leadership of the party, some leaders of the party are saying, does the president have a hand in what is happening in ODM today? And how deep is it?
Yeah, definitely, some of us believe that the president has compromised part of the leadership of ODM. And they are there shouting. You don't even need to say names. Just hear the way they'll speak. Just hear the way they spoke during the burial of the enigma. Just hear the way they'll speak in Mombasa. I want Kenyans to hear the speeches of the ODM officials in Mombasa. And they will know who has been paid by William Ruto. Just listen to their speeches. We don't even need to say their name. Listen to them. They'll be there. That's why we are said, Baba, give us a signal. These people who made sure that you don't win. And they're the same people who have spoiled Baba's campaign. As a presidential candidate, you need people to rally around you, to help you campaign, to mobilize, to make sure that all systems are in place for you to win. And a single person cannot win the president of Kenya by controlling all systems. He needs a team of people to help him. The team of people that Baba entrusted his campaign messed him up. They are the same people who are happy to be in the government. Look at them. Look at their faces. They're out there. Those who made sure that Baba is not a president for 5 times, they are there praising William Ruto. They're out there. That's why you're saying, Baba, give us a signal. And on 20th anniversary, the same people who made sure Baba does not win 5 times, they'll be speaking broad-based from morning to evening. Listen to them. They're out there.
Caleb Amisi, Babu Owino, and Secretary General Sifuna have been pointed fingers as being rebels within the party. Why?
Who is pointing fingers? They're not the members of ODM. They're the same people. That's why you said, Baba, give us a signal. These people are still here. Those who made sure that you've died without being a president of Kenya. They are here trying to destroy ODM. They are here chasing people. They are here labeling other people as rebel. Something that Baba never labeled any one of us as a rebel. Himself, he used to call us every day. We used to consult. That's why we are saying we were speaking the language of Baba. And if you want to know that Caleb, Sifuna, and Babu were speaking the language of Baba, listen to Ruth Odinga and listen to Oburu Odinga. But if you want to know the people who have messed up Baba from the time he started his presidential campaign up to the loss, up to now broad-based, listen now to the rest of the voices. And they'll be there in Mombasa. They'll be speaking loud in the microphone.
Is there a possibility that ODM will split from this broad-based government before 2027?
If those people overpowers the voice of reason, because they have, of course, they have now merged hands with the President Ruto, a man that we've spent our time in the streets castigated as a bad president, a corrupt. I don't know when he stopped being corrupt. A man that we said is tribal. I do not know when he stopped being tribal. A man that we said he stolen Baba's victory 3 times. We do not know whether he returned the victory. A man that we said that this is a person who can commit crime, and because he went to ICC, we do not know whether that one has been changed. But here we are being told now, this is a person we are supposed to make sure that he wins by all means possible. This is a person that is now the king of ODM. This is the chief guest of 20th anniversary of a party that he has never believed in, of a party that he was chased out for corruption, of a party that fought for Mau Forest. And he campaigned against, for a party that campaigned for a new constitution, which he campaigned against. That party is celebrating 20th anniversary, and that person is the chief guest. What an irony.
I mean, Caleb, let's look at ODM and its members in the National Assembly and in the Senate. As we talk about ODM being in broad-based government, that really never was a political deal based on paper, as was stated by Raila when he was there. But how does the current formation as is affect you being in parliament and speaking truth to power, you being in parliament, representation, legislation and oversight? How does these marriage of broad-based affect ODM prosecuting its mandate on the floor of the House?
And that's why you see members of ODM being confused. They don't know whether to support the government position. They don't know whether to oppose anything, or unless you'll be told you have gone against broad-based. So what is broad-based in the first place? People are saying, now you're speaking like this. You remember some of us, we are even denied the positions. For example, I was supposed to be the chair of Public Accounts Committee. I went to Junet and asked Junet, who took my name to the Central Committee, that you paraded my name in the media, and later on, you do not even want to appoint me to be in the committee in the first place, for me to even campaign among my colleagues. So who took my name to the Central Committee and announced to the whole world? He said Baba himself. Raila himself told us, I want Caleb to be the chair of PAC. Raila himself. So I asked Junet, then why didn't you put my name in the PAC committee? So that's the time I realized that...
Why didn't he?
Why didn't he?
No, they said they had some reasons that, you are alone, you are only one MP from Trans Nzoia. There are those from Kakamega, they've come back. I said, when Baba was taking my name to Central Committee, he didn't know I was alone in Trans Nzoia. Okay? So that I think this Mzee is under siege. That's the time I knew this Baba is under siege and is complacent because he doesn't want to cause havoc, doesn't want to cause anything. So you can see that the voices of reason, the voices that could have put the government in check, they have been muzzled. They make sure that you do not get to that position. They make sure that you have no opportunity to tell them off. And they will rather have the complacent, the docile members who will say, Akisama left, right.
Are Kenyans right, therefore, when they say that ODM are being in broad-based government, therefore take responsibility of every bad thing that comes out of the Kenya Kwanza government? By the fact that they are in broad-based government.
Thank you very much. They will. ODM, in fact, the moment William Ruto appears in Mombasa tomorrow or on Saturday as a chief guest, that is it. You will carry all the crosses of William Ruto from the time he was born to today. You will own him. You will own that president. The mistake that he has committed yesterday, last year, all the mistake of Ruto government, ODM is going to own them.
Okay.
And it is sad that by the time we are burying the enigma, the party has created for 20 years is going to be swallowed by his opponent.
You're not shy to say, to speak out in terms of your disappointment about, some of the words that you use. You talk about corrupt, you talk about tribal, you talk about, mismanagement, misappropriation, you talk about poor leadership. And these are things that you ascribe to President William Ruto, and are surprised now that he's the one who is being made the chief guest at a function for a party that stood against these things for the longest time, in and through the person of Raila Odinga, right?
Yes.
Now, the three of you who Aseto had mentioned before, yourself, Edwin Sifuna, Babu Owino, have also not been shy to say these things. Edwin Sifuna saying very clearly, we do not agree with these things. And that it must be that 2027, we do not continue with this, number one, or that... we find a way to have somebody else on the ballot. That seems to be the song. Do you agree?
Yes, of course. We said that ODM will have a presidential candidate, and that presidential candidate, according to me, I don't know about the rest, should not be William Ruto, because ODM, if William Ruto was a presidential candidate, then why didn't we support him last election? Why now? We should have just supported him last election and will not have lost all the amount of time, resources, and the lives that we've lost in trying to de-campaign him. We should have just said, okay, William Ruto is a founder member, and because he's on the ballot, so ODM is on the ballot. Why now? We would have supported the Jubilee government when William Ruto was with Uhuru Kenyatta.
So then did it confuse you when party leader at that time, Raila Odinga, actually said, let us then join forces? Because if what you're saying is the case, did it confuse you at that time when you said, wait a minute, are we joining the government? What is this broad-based thing? It confused many a Kenyan. Did it confuse you?
It confused at first, but Baba made it very clear. And I want to refer, I don't know why people that are running away from Baba's speech. And it happens to be the last. If there is ever a book that is going to be written, the last page of that book in Raila Amolo's life, the last page will be that last speech at Agile Hotel, where he said, who told you ODM will not have a candidate? He said that knowing very well William Ruto is there. He said that knowing very well Broad-Based is there. He should have said that ODM will have one of their founder member as a presidential candidate. But he said, who told you ODM will not have a presidential candidate? He didn't say founder members. He didn't say Broad-Based candidate. He said ODM. Knowing very well there is UDA, there is Jubilee, there is Broad-Based. He knew when he was saying those things, but he said ODM. Who told you? And he said those people who are saying two-term. Who has told you? Who is two-term? Two-term is William Ruto. But he said there is going to be a presidential candidate other than William Ruto. Those are the words of Raila Odinga. Respect the words of Raila Odinga. Respect the words. The dead tells no tales. But he said before he died.
So, Caleb, I look at ODM, Raila Odinga saying that 2027 ODM will have a presidential candidate. Those are the words of Raila Odinga. But then again, previously, we've just canvassed the fact that ODM will take responsibility of the broad-based government and everything that comes with the Kenya Kwanza government. So as we approach 2027, how does ODM get out of a broad-based government and convince Kenyans that we have a presidential candidate who will change things if ODM itself has been part of the problem?
Yeah, that's why I said the first thing they need to do is to avoid inviting William Ruto to ODM's 20th anniversary.
Can ODM convince Kenyans that they are the solution?
If they listen to Caleb Sifuna and Babu, but if they listen to the rest, then they can't convince. You have said that we are in broad-based, whether the government is bad or good, you are there to stay. But what we saying? We are saying ODM must remain to its values. You may not form a government. And by the way, it is not a must. There are parties that have existed in this across other jurisdictions, even US, even South Africa, even Germany. They have never formed a government for almost 30 years. But eventually, they form a government. It doesn't matter how long it takes, but you stick to your values. In fact, those are the ideologies and the principles that attract membership to the party. Because a party, people can even run out of UDA and they join ODM. People can run out of DCP and they join ODM. But if people are running out of UDA, they're running out of DCP, where are they going? They are going back to broad-based. So you must have identifiable party that stands for something, however long it takes. Government come and go, but the party systems must maintain forever. We must have the ideas of Baba was to build an institutionalized, a party that is beyond Baba, a party that is beyond the individuals who are behind it. And that was the wishes of Raila, that can we have an institution like Democrats? Anybody who wakes up in the morning like Obama from nowhere, from
has a chance.
And he has a chance to be a president of America through Democrats. We wanted somebody to wake up from Saboti and has a chance to be the president of Kenya through ODM. That is the system and the institution that Baba created. He did not tell you must be part of any government that comes, whether it is evil or not. He did not say that you are dying to be the government. Him himself has sacrificed. In fact, he was supposed to be a president during that 2002 post-election violence. But he sacrificed. That means to him, being a president was not the ultimate goal. Being in government was not the ultimate goal. But the ultimate goal and the reason why he formed the party, and he wanted it to be an institution that bears some level of principles, ideas, ideologies, that stands for good governance, that stands for this and this, that institutions that will carry the hopes and aspirations of the young people forever. And and the young people are now left outside. That's why they are telling us, Caleb, can we come together and form a movement? Because it seems that we've been left out by the demise of Baba.
Will that movement be formed? Because it seems as though folks are baying for that thing that is going to take away from what is the status quo.
Even
that
as
where we hear that
people
will be, people are disappointed that the things that they cry out for, Mandamano with sufuria on your head was even referred to by the president. He said those people who are giving us pressure with Mandamano and sufurias, we have now gotten rid of them. The jury is still out on who exactly he was referring to when he said that a couple of weeks ago. But the issues that were being approached by that movement are still issues that Kenyans are facing today. The issues that are on the broad-based agenda, the number one issue on the broad-based agenda has not even been tackled. Those are the things that Kenyans are looking for. So will a breakaway movement, is that something that we can see in the offing? Will it start to address these issues? Should it be formed?
Yes, it is. Nobody wishes. ODM is a party that people have invested in. Mm-hmm. They have invested in their resources, their time, their emotions. Some of us are at the tender age of our political life, but we've wasted our life on the street, championing for Baba to be a president, ODM to take over power, for the things that we believed in. We are not old enough to have, existed in the structures of governance, but we hoped that through ODM we'll have a chance to serve in the structures of governance. But here we are, left with a party, with the leadership that no longer believes in the ideals of the founder, leader. When a party, it is not very easy for you to disintegrate from the party that you believed in. But when a party goes down, you do not even realize. Nobody will even wake up in the morning and say, now, today ODM are separated into two. It is natural occurrence. It will just occur. It will just take its own course. You will not even hear somebody say, now I'm forming a party. A party will just formed in its own way. This is like just a river looking for its course up to the ocean, up to the shores. So it will just happen. And as I said, the faster you prevent and direct, the course of the river, the better for you to maintain the status quo of the party. But if you just leave it, the water will find its own way out. It will not be stagnant. This is a natural occurrence. It will occur.
Caleb, when you look at the party, ODM is owned by the people. Fine, we have the leadership of the party, but those who form the party are the members of ODM. When you sit with these members, those who voted for you, and you talk about ODM today, what do they tell you? Do they still believe that ODM is the party that had aspirations and heart of Kenyans in it? Or have they switched positions? And based off what they tell you, what next?
I've spoken against broad-based for the longest, since its inception. Have we ever had any person from my constituents carrying placards saying Caleb does not speak on our behalf? Instead, it's Kaluma who is saying I don't speak on their behalf. It's not my voter. Okay? That means I'm speaking on behalf of people. I'm elected. I'm not nominated. So I speak on behalf of people. I attend functions in my constituency almost on a weekly basis. I interact with people who elected me. So I speak on behalf of the people who elected me. The suffering on the ground, okay? The unexplained deaths of the young people, the abduction, the threats to young people who try to voice out their issues to the government. The people just constantly living in fear that you talk like this, you are abducted. In my constituency alone, young people in Matisi and Etwani have been arrested, that are in jail for reasons that is not even known to parents. I get parents' messages every day that tusaidie tutoe kijana, tusaidie kidogo, because I'm the only person they can run to. So I represent people. I represent people who believed in the party. I represent, and if what I'm saying is not, you can even do a survey here and call any person in Saboti constituent. The only person you'll hear him saying against Caleb is a UDA adherent. It's not an ODM. And we know them. If anybody, in fact, those even cry about, don't know, Rosewood, they are not ODM. They are a UDA and we know them. We know where they are.
So based
but
on
the ODM people do not believe in what is happening. They don't.
We're likely to hear a number of things in Mombasa this weekend with the celebrations, the ODM celebrations of 20 years coming in. Your chief guest, ironically or otherwise, is President William Ruto. And you said that we will hear things and you will not even have to guess about what the position is. Will you attend these celebrations?
I will attend, but if Ruto walks in, I walks out.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's not a member of the party. He'll be a stranger. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll be termed as attending a UDA PG meeting. Yeah. Because he will also say things that are not the stand of ODM. What will you do? And you are there. And they said, the people will tell me, but Caleb, you are there. We saw you.
You were supporting
You
it.
are supporting it. So he walks in, I walks out.
Whose decision would it have been then to make a party leader of a different party a chief guest at an ODM celebration with all these intrigues and intricacies that we've discussed about this morning?
They should have even had, people who have same charisma, same maybe status in terms of the iconic figure of Raila Odinga in the international space. They could even our very own, the old man, Olusegun Obasanjo. These are people that have toiled with Raila. Iman, he has had a moment with Raila for the longest in the political space. Why even not invite Olusegun Obasanjo as a chief guest? I mean, you've had Morgan Changirai, who has been very close with Raila during the opposition. When he was doing his Zimbabwean thing, Raila was doing, he used to invite each other. And you saw the widow there. Why did not even invite the widow of Morgan Changirai? I mean, as a respect to the comradeship of Raila Odinga, why not invite the comrade of Raila Odinga in the struggle as chief guest and not his opponents for 50 years?
Pertinent questions, pertinent issues. Is this going to be a turning point this weekend? Will we wake up Monday morning and we'll see that there's different direction? It's a question.
It will not happen in a night. If you are looking for some exciting news, please look elsewhere. But change will happen. Change will happen. It will not happen in the night. But change is happening. As we speak now, even as I speak now, change is happening. Change is happening. How did the ANC found itself? The party that formed the South African bedrock politics. Yes. The party that fought against apartheid regime. The party that has almost become a single party, single most. How did it find itself making that for it to form a government, it has to have a coalition? It has gone down slowly without realizing. How did the Kano disappear until it has, from having 200 MPs to now barely 3 MPs? Did it announce that now Kano is going down? No, it just happens. It just happens naturally. So you'll in the coming years you'll hear no ODM. If Ruto becomes the chief guest on tomorrow or tomorrow but one, the descent begins.
Caleb Amisi is the Member of Parliament for Saboti constituency. He has been here with us this morning, going through a lot of these intrigues. It's very hard and fast on some things, and it's all a time will tell kind of situation. Thanks for being here this morning, Caleb.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.